This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the Ben & Jerry's Sundae Non-Dairy Berry Revolutionary. This is a vegan ice cream by Ben & Jerry's that I bought at my local Globus for €5.49. Up until that point I've never seen something like this before at any shops, and yeah, finally my local Globus has some new sorts of ice cream in their lineup. They are not the quickest to take up these sorts of things usually. Now let's take a quick look at the ingredients list right here. Pause if you want to read that. I hope that you can read it if you want to. Pause if you want to read the nutrition table right here at the bottom. Pause if you want to read the ingredients list in, what is this, in French. And pause if you want to read the ingredients list in Dutch. Anything else that's written on here that might be of interest? So the Berry Revolutionary is ice cream with raspberry, with sandwich cookies and chocolatey cookie swirls, with a soft whipped top, caramel swirls and chocolatey chunks. This is a bit of a special thing that I just cannot cut like I usually do. I usually twist this around, right, and flip it upside down to cut it from the bottom. This one right here, we shouldn't really do that because the stuff on top is the soft stuff that we do not want to squish too much. I've been talking for 1.5 minutes now. I've actually been talking for about 10 minutes, but I've always aborted the beginning of the video because I always had some sort of wordy mix-up going on. I'm a bit out of, not out of fashion, well, I'm certainly out of fashion, but a bit out of practice for these sorts of reviews. Okay, this, wow, this actually looks very interesting, a lot nicer than usually. Yeah, definitely soft ice cream here on top. This is our fed glazed pieces, I think, right here, that the ones that contain some cocoa. Here we have, oh, that's nice, that caramel sauce. Maybe you can hear me tapping on that. Very nice consistency that one has got. Yeah, overall, quite interesting. I've never seen Ben & Jerry's ice cream like this before. Usually they are quite boring from the top, as most of these pint ice creams tend to be. Where are we going to cut this? We're going to cut this right here. Differently than usual, we cut it from the top. Okay, on top it goes in quite easily. Our banana blade. Right down the bottom it gets a lot harder, but that's to be expected. Let's break this in two. Alright, okay. This, set this aside, this looks quite good actually. We've got that raspberry ice cream. Those sandwich cookies that don't really look all that sandwichy. And we've got a soft top ice cream right there, or what it's called, right? That soft whipped top ice cream stuff. Caramel swirls, yeah, I guess we got some of them there, and those chocolatey chunks on the very top. All right, which one are we gonna? Yeah, we're gonna keep this one right here because then I can read what this actually is. I'll put the other one in the freezer and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, slightly out of breath. I am back at the desk. And we are finally able to take a closer look at this particular ice cream. It already starts to fall apart right here at the bottom. Tastes alright so far. Let's take a quick look at the soft topped whipping sort of thing right here. Feels very creamy and nice and soft. Not that soft ice cream that you get at McDonald's. That's kind of shit. This one here. Yeah, nice consistency to it. Airier than usual, right? But consistency-wise, certainly a treat. Let's see what this smells of. It doesn't really smell of much, no. And it does taste of, yeah. Once again, it does taste of an ice cream substitute made from almonds or something like that. All right, better than the last one that I've had for Ben & Jerry's, but still, yeah, it's not really ice cream, right? Let's take a taste test of this with that caramel sauce. It tastes surprisingly natural, of a creamy fudgy goodness. Whatever that means, I don't know English. But the caramel sauce is nice. The caramel sauce is nicer than the ice cream substitute base that we got on top. But the mixture of both really makes you forget about this not being actual ice cream. Yeah, but I do enjoy this particular caramel sauce in conjunction with this ice cream substitute. Quite good, quite good. Definitely. Now let's take a look at one of these chocolatey fat lace pieces, or whatever they're called. Yeah, chocolatey chunks is I think what they want to call them. Yeah, they taste very much like a cheap chocolate glaze. Nothing special about them. Could have been the ones from Aldi. But that stuff right here, that's quite good. Now let's take a look at the... Oh, do you see this? I just run the spoon down here and it just breaks apart. Doesn't... This does not feel like ice cream. This ain't proper, is it? That's a weird, really weird texture. Some sort of frozen Haribo stuff. This is what this feels like on the spoon. Let's see what this smells of. There is a certain smell of, yeah, of raspberry marmalade. Yeah, it does smell good. Sort of it smells like a milky raspberry marmalade. Maybe some frozen raspberry milk. Yeah, let's see what this tastes of. Taste-wise, it's a lot more watery than I expected. Those cookie pieces don't really seem to add too much flavour in the first spoonful. Let's go for a second one. Yeah, second spoonful, same story. A bit of a like chocolatey cookie flavour to it, but this raspberry ice cream substitute, I don't know. It's more watery than it should be. That's for sure. There's definitely a very nice, pleasant smell of raspberry in it, but flavour-wise, very, very shallow. It melts into your mouth, and it melts not into creamy stuff, but into water. When you've got these smaller shavings right here, with actual ice cream, you do have a creamy texture, some extra flavour. This right here is very shallow in the flavour department, and texture-wise, it melts into water. That's quite unfortunate. That is quite unfortunate. Let's go for some sort of mixture right here on the left with that caramel sauce and some of the, what's it called again? With the soft whipped top. The soft whipped top. That's what we got in the spoon right here now. When it's all together, it makes you forget about that watery raspberry stuff. And in comparison to that watery bottom, the top just feels brilliantly smooth in terms of its like creamy texture. That's surprising. Yeah, in conjunction, all of these ingredients on one spoonful, with that bit of caramel sauce as well. Very decent indeed. With those cookie pieces now, those cookie pieces do seem to have a purpose. So when you want to eat this, try to get as much of the ingredients as a mixture onto your spoon as possible. That really tastes quite nice. In conjunction with each other, those individual ingredients are quite nice indeed. Something that is interesting that I didn't expect is, with that caramel sauce and that whipped top and the bottom right here, it's got almost, not a burnt flavour, but almost like one of these Biscoff cookie Maillard reaction sort of flavour, right? That browning of a cookie flavour sort of thing. That's almost burnt, not actually burned, but it's baked to a crisp. It's got that particular flavour to it. That's nice. Didn't expect that at all. I mean, those cookie pieces are dark, but that's because they're supposed to be chocolate sandwich cookies, right? Yeah, so far so good. The bottom stuff right here with that raspberry ice cream substitute, that's not that great. Top whipped top stuff is nice. Yeah, it's right. It's also an ice cream substitute on some sort of almond base, but texture-wise, it comes really close to actual ice cream as opposed to the bottom half of this thing. Sandwich cookie-wise, those things just look like they are cookie pieces that are crunched up, right? Not much of a sandwich at all. Anyway, I'm going to finish off this half now, and I'll be back with you and the review sheet in just a second. The consumption process is complete, and we are ready to rate this ice cream with the review sheet. First impression wise, I think this has been fine. We took off the top, it looked really good and much better than I initially expected, I have to say. Color wise, I don't have anything to complain about in this particular case. The top, like the what was it called? The soft whipped top looked nice and fresh. The berry sort of ice cream substitute looked alright as well. So did those chocolatey chunks, those fat glazed pieces on the very top, and the caramel sauce looked exceptionally good. That was surprising. Overall, I have to say that color-wise, nothing was off. Therefore, full points in that department. Consistency and texture-wise, I give half points, and maybe I shouldn't give even half points when we look at the mass of the ingredients and the mass of, well, what's good and what's not. Because the top part of this thing, right, that soft whipped top cream substitute, that was very nice indeed in texture. Very creamy. You wouldn't really notice that it's not actual ice cream if they didn't say so. Flavor wise, of course you do. It's a bit more watery. You get that almond flavor, not that regular milk ice cream flavor. You will notice that in that regard. But consistency wise, it came close to just regular cheap ice cream, and cheap ice cream is usually better in consistency than any of these vegan alternatives. So I definitely give this one props for that. That was pretty decent. Something that wasn't all that great though, and sadly there was a lot of it, that's not that great, was this texture of the berry revolutionary bottom part of this. It felt just like a frozen weird substitute of ice cream. It wasn't really creamy at all, it just fell apart. Shavings, some sort of, not sorbet, but something between sorbet and ice cream. Something that I don't really appreciate for its presence in this particular product. Flavor wise, it was fine-ish. It was too watery, but fine-ish. But texture wise, yeah, half points because of that. Not all that great after all. Something that did take this out of that bad spot was this caramel sauce though, which tied the top part and the bottom part quite well together. It wasn't too runny, it wasn't too hard, it was pretty much perfect overall. So yeah, I definitely have to give them props for that. Taste wise, 3 out of 5 available points. For a vegan ice cream, I think this has been tasting very decent indeed. And we do have that raspberry flavor. We do have that creamy texture. We've got that almond flavor of this almond base, of course, or whatever this is. And when it comes to the caramel sauce, that one came very close to actual like fudge caramel sauce, which was nice. And those chocolate pieces on top, that were just the regular ones that taste just like the Aldi ones do. With the cookie pieces, I do not know what makes these sandwich cookies, because none of these cookie pieces look like they came, or they were part of a sandwich before. They just look like regular dark chocolate flavor cookies, right? I mean, we do not call the top bun of a McChicken a sandwich because it's a bun. One thing doesn't make a thing sandwich, right? So I do not know about that, but flavor-wise overall this has been fine, and so were the cookies. So 3 out of 5 points in the taste department. Themalization-wise, I give half points because overall it has been okay. Those sandwich cookies, like I said, that's a bit of a bummer. Like I wouldn't have identified them as sandwich cookies if they didn't tell me so. And even now that they've told me that those are sandwich cookies, they didn't really look like sandwich cookies, and overall, I don't know. I also want to give half points in the themalization department because half of this ice cream has reminded me of ice cream and the other half didn't all so much, right? That whipped top, that was very close to actual ice cream. The stuff on the bottom wasn't, so I think, yeah, 0.5 points out of one available one in the themalization department is, I think, justified. Overall, 6.5 out of 10 available points is, I think, a decent rating for one of these non-dairy vegan products. This comes almost close to something that I would buy again. This certainly has been the best ice cream substitute a vegan one that I've had until this point. And the previous Ben and Jerry's ones, they were just expensive. They really were not nice at all. This one is a decent change for now. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, and I think therefore it is now time to end this particular video. If you've got a question or a video suggestion, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you soon. Until then, bye bye.